Hi everyone, I am Bhumika Rathi. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, we are doing practices for competitive exams in which I am going to cover your English grammar at the very first. And today we are continuing a topic pronouns. So let's see the rules of pronoun that we have today. So use of relative pronoun. Let's see, relative pronouns are used to join the clauses. So let's see which are relative pronouns. Who, whom, which, that and what. They all are relative pronouns. So let's see an example. I met Veena who was returning from school. So here who is behaving as relative pronoun which is joining two clauses. So moving on, we have rule number one. Rule number one says who, which, that. All these relative pronouns are used as subject of subordinate clause. So let's see the example that we have. The boy who came is a player. So here who is behaving as subject which is representing the boy. So this is relative pronoun which have been used as subject. Then we have rule number two. Whom, which, that. They are used as object of the verb. So let's see the example that we have. I have a son whom I love very much. So here whom is a relative pronoun which is behaving as object. Now moving on, we have rule number three. So let's see. Yes, the hybrid antecedent. So let's see, person plus animal, they are joined by and in the sentence that we will see, or thing, we will use that for that. Let's see the example that we have. The man and his dog that I saw yesterday have been kidnapped. So here that is behaving as relative pronoun. So here we have the man and is there which is joining person and animal. Animal is his dog. So let's see. Rule number four says the relative superlative degree. After superlative degree, we will use that relative pronoun that we have, that. Now let's see the example that we have. Mr. Mishra is the most laborious man that I have ever seen. So here the most, the best, the tallest, all are superlative degrees. And along with that, we will use that relative pronoun. Now moving on, we have rule number five. So let's see, when all refers to the people, the group of people, all, so we will use who or that. So let's see the example that we have. All who are interested may start now. So along with all, when all is behaving as people, we will use who or that. Now moving on, we have rule number six. Rule number six says when all refers to the things, so we will use that. Now let's see the example that we have. All that glitters is not gold. So here that is used for things. Then we have all is well that ends well. Then we have all the money that I gave her has been spent. So here it is behaving as object. Now moving on, we have rule number seven. So let's see. After these words, we will use that. So let's see. Along with everything, nothing, the only, any, all, everyone, none, sorry for no. Then we have nobody, much, little, the same. So along with these words, we will use the relative pronoun that. So let's see the example that we have. Everything that I needed. So here along with everything, we have used a relative pronoun which is that. Then we have the only pen that I bought. So here along with the only, we have used that. Then we have more. The little money that I gave. So here the little, and along with that we have a relative pronoun which have been used is that. Then we have the same dress that I chose. So here along with the same we have used that. This is quite important. You guys need to memorize it. Now moving on, we have rule number 8. Let's see. Yes. Is the verb clear? So let's see the verb clarity check whether we will use relative pronoun that or not. So if the verb is clear, then we will use that, and if the verb is not clear, we will use as. So let's see the use of that first. This is the same man that deceived me. So here deceived is a clear verb which we can see here. So along with that, we will use the relative pronoun which is that. And if the verb is not clear, like in this sentence that we have, this is the same dress as mine. So here no clear verb we can be seen. So along with that, we will use as instead of that. Now moving on, the use of interrogative pronouns. Pronouns, or these are those pronouns which are used for asking questions. So which are interrogative pronouns? Who, whom, whose, which. So who is used for subject, then whom is used for object, and whose is used for representing ownership. So here we have seen rule number 1. So moving on, we have rule number 2. Let's see the preposition law. Along with preposition, we will use whom. Along with preposition, we cannot use who. Together, we cannot use them, but together preposition and whom we can use. Now, let's see the example that we have. By whom was the Ramayan written? So here, by is a preposition, and along with that, we can use whom, which is a pronoun. So let's see next. When the preposition is at the end, is used at the beginning. So we will use like this. Let's see the example. Who was the Ramayan written by? So here, preposition is at the end, and who is at the beginning of the sentence. All right. Now moving on, we have rule number 3. Rule number 3 says making a choice. When choosing one out of 2 or more, we will use the pronoun which. So let's see. Instead of saying who is your brother in the crowd, so using who is wrong. So since we are choosing anyone in the crowd, more than 2 or more than 1. So let's see. We will, instead of that, we will use which. Which is your brother in the crowd. All right. Now let's see the rule number 4 that we have. Rule number 4 is for whose, for the ownership of the things. Whose pronoun cannot be used for the lifeless things. So let's see how we will use whose. Whose, as I told you, is used for ownership of the things. So let's see the example that we have. Whose book is this? So we are not using whose. This book belongs to who. So we will use whose. Now let's see next example. This is the flyover whose inauguration was done. So instead of using whose, we will use this is the flyover, the inauguration of which was done. So here it's a lifeless thing which we can see here. So lifeless thing, for lifeless thing we will use of which, as you can see in this sentence. So this is all for today. Meet in the next video with new rules. Thank you.